Kevin Feige would never lie to you, right? So of course Robert Downey Jr. is not going to be coming back as Iron Man. Nope, definitely not. It's not like we don't have the perfect story for him to just simply do a cameo in order to bust our beleaguered box office out of its current slump. No, we can't, do something to pop a rating. We'll just go ahead and continue to key jangle off of everybody else's successful franchise to continue to tease new and exciting properties that we will continue to write as poorly as everything that we have destroyed to begin with. So do I believe Kevin Feige when he says that Robert Downey Jr. is not going to be coming back as Iron Man in the short term? I do, because I don't really see a place where, RDJ fits into the current landscape. But again, Secret Wars is right around the corner, I guess, if we all live to be 900 years old. And the fact of the matter is, Marvel's heading for a reboot. I just don't know if they know it quite yet. What did Feige have to say about this? Robert Downey Jr. has completed his run as Iron Man in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, as Kevin Feige says the character will not be coming back. Interesting. We're going to keep that moment and not touch that moment again. I'm sure Feige told Vanity Fair in the Robert Downey Jr. profile. We all worked very hard for many years to get that. We would never want to magically undo it in any way, which is interesting. I have some theories. Obviously, he was last there in Avengers Endgame. It was a poignant send-off. Did he need to die? Well, of course, that's always been a point of contention, even when the film ended up dropping in 2019, and the more time has gone on and more people's opinions have kind of soured or just been convoluted by what Endgame was trying to get across. It's like, wow, a lot of that stuff really didn't make any sense, but I felt feelings at the end, so of course it's good. So with hindsight being 2020, people have been wondering, okay, Stark, he's eventually going to come back because we have this weird thing going on right now called the multiverse, and we've seen different versions of different characters out there before. Hell, we're supposed to be getting a new Fantastic Four film, but then at the same time we've already seen Mr. Fantastic. Okay, we unfortunately have a Captain Marvel at home, and then why did we see the other one up there with the Illuminati? So yeah. Is Robert Downey Jr. going to come back and he's going to go ahead and reprise the exact same character? The way that Feige talks about that stuff, okay, it's very carefully worded. Wouldn't want to touch that moment again. Never want to magically undo it in any way. Do I think he could come back in some sort of a variant form? Well, of course, man. That's the way that the overarching story for Secret Wars is in fact written. Director Joe Russo, okay, one of the Russo brothers, added, "We'd already said tearful goodbyes on the last day of shooting. Everybody had moved on emotionally. We promised him that it would be the last time that we'd ever make him do it, ever." Sure thing. Co-director Anthony Russo noted that RDJ, it was a difficult thing for him to say his last line as a superhero. Interesting. And again, we went through all of this stuff. Again, if you're of a certain age, you'll know that Hugh Jackman was never, ever, after his perfect send-off with Logan, ever going to don the moniker of Wolverine ever again. Hell, Patrick Stewart was never going to reprise the role of Professor X from that exact same film. And we haven't seen Patrick Stewart or Hugh Jackman reprise their... Oh, right. When he did come back, we were shooting on stage directly opposite where he auditioned for Tony Stark's The last line as Tony Stark was shot literally a couple hundred feet from his original audition that got him the role. What a bunch of maudlin bullshit. But again, I hearken back to the idea that we will not see the Tony Stark that we originally seen before during the first glorious run as told in the profitable times in MCU, but do I think we're gonna get some kind of a variant because of all the new mechanics, ill-defined mechanics? Hell, not even the people currently working on the shit really understands it type mechanics. I think that is definitely going to be the case because Disney in the next couple of years are gonna get fucking desperate and they're gonna be trying to pull every trick out of the book. But in order to do that, they've also got to rectify the situation so that they're not just continuing to throw money into the abyss. Hell, they've got to define some of the terms that they're going to be dealing with. Because Iman Vellani, right, like super based Iman Vellani, who I hope nothing but the best for the rest of her career outside of the MCU, and she's lobbying really hard because she actually likes the character of Miss Marvel, even though there's not really all that much to like. But if she's going to try to breathe some life into it, kind of like what RDJ did for Iron Man, who was, if we're going to keep it a buck, a B or a C rate character, and he elevated him to A S class series, in the Marvel pantheon. God bless Iman if she's going to try to do that for Ms. Marvel. That's a fucking tough road to hoe, but feel free. She's at least endearing herself to the fans by just pointing out simple stuff like, how does time travel work in the MCU? After my own show, I don't even know what's going on. Hell, the 15 different variations of the multiverse and the quantum verse and the verse. We don't even have well-defined mechanics of, well, anything, really. Iman Vellani was recently seen in the MCU's The Marvels, and she would like everybody to kind of forget that. No, you actually didn't see me in anything. Sorry about that. Which opened to a dismal response at the box office. Oh, come on, let's not be accurate. In an interview with Inverse, she said, after my own show, I don't know. She said, I appreciate them making the rules, and then they just make new ones. Yo! It's almost like nobody knows what the hell is going on over at Marvel, but don't worry guys, Kevin Feige is a fucking expert when it comes to this stuff. And it's not like they're looking to course correct and try to do something in the future. They're heading for a reboot. Come on, let's call it exactly what this is. Figuring out who works right now, seeing what they can salvage, seeing what they could do moving forward. Because there's only so long that they can move on with this half-pregnant stance. Can Marvel Cinematic Universe be saved with a reboot of shows following multiple flops? 5 reasons why MCU should bring back old Avengers with the help of Deadpool and crossovers. Yeah, because there is a storyline, or there was a run, not entirely sure when it took place, but Deadpool, the next film in the MCU to come out, by the way, and the one that's probably going to make some money, by the way, but it's obviously going to be kneecapped by the current quality of Phase 4 and 5. But yeah, there's a line of comics out there for Deadpool where Deadpool kills Marvel Comics, where he goes and, you know, because he is a fourth wall breaking character, he goes and just gets rid of all the characters that doesn't work, and, well, he can then just amalgamate and curate an MCU, and then at the end he can kind of, you know, take himself out of the situation, either by introducing mutants, given the fact that, you know, Hugh Jackman's going to be in Deadpool 3, bring in Fantastic Four, and then just completely wipe the slate clean, run it back with a new cast of characters. That would be the most logical way for them to do this. But will they do it? Well, because it's the most logical thing to do? Of course they're not. But yeah, man, as it's pointed out, the return of the original Avengers ensemble could be fruitful. Yes, in a financial state, because everybody loves, you know, case in point, by every taste and flavor of the week show that comes out on Disney Plus. Oh my god, Anakin Skywalker returned in Ahsoka. That was fantastic. Just have your mind wiped and you don't remember that a year prior he also returned in Obi-Wan, and that was so great. Or that the after credits scene ended up getting popularized during the height of Marvel, and now they're just, well, fuck, look at the marketing for the Marvel specifically. Hang on for what happens next. And then it's, oh my god, they got a lingering shot on the X-Men, and the X-Men are going to be coming. Yeah, we know. They bought Fox for billions of dollars a few years ago, and then they just sat on the properties because, well, they're kind of fucking retarded. So all they have is key jangling. Deadpool being incorporated to give the MCU show creators more headroom for better stories. I don't know if better, and like they're obviously going to allude to the fact they trademark humor, tendency to break the fourth wall. Also, it just, you know, the first two, I think they were R-rated. I know the first one was, I'm pretty sure the second one would be as well. So yeah, I guess they'll be more mature in nature, but does that mean they'll be better? Well, it depends on who's going to be writing it, and of course, those two concepts don't go hand in hand. The multiverse saga gives the perfect stage to logically plan to reboot, exactly for the reasons that I previously outlined, and Marvel fans could use a fresh narrative, exactly because, well, as everything is planned out, or there's projects in the works all the way up until, holy shit, 2027. Does that mean anything is going to be set in stone? Hell, they don't even know what the hell's going to be happening. They don't even have firm casting for the Fantastic Four. The only thing that we know so far is that, well, Marvel's not going to learn a goddamn fucking thing, because the Fantastic Four, Marvel's first family, your quintessential group, is going to be treated like a fucking sitcom. I hate it. I hate it all. Fantastic Four movie is on the way, and the MCU's 6th phase. And there's been plenty of developments. WandaVision's Matt Shankman sent to direct, while Disaster Wedding's Jeff Kaplan. Oh, fantastic. WandaVision, the thing that nobody remembers or really likes all that much, and Disaster Wedding, the fucking a comment. I have no idea. Jeff Kaplan and Ian Springer have written the script, so we've heard news of production starting, casting rumors. Yeah, it's pretty much looking like the Fantasticos Cuatros as opposed to the Fantastic Four. You know, the all-white Fantastic Four headed up by Pedro Pascal. Fantastic. Information is very limited. However, the movie's director has mentioned an inspiration for the flick. Certainly a surprising one. No, it's perfectly in line with what we're seeing with current day Marvel. They love everything except for the source material that they're working with. They would rather be doing anything else out here except for a caped and tights movie. Unbelievable. A recent interview with comicbook.com, director Matt Shankman, who's also worked on 43 episodes of the popular sitcom It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, stated that Always Sunny actors taught him some valuable lessons, specifically in comedy and chemistry. Well, okay, for the people that watched it, it's actually funny from what I hear. I never got into it, and I didn't have access to FX, because I think that's what it ran on to begin with, right? So I won't cast judgment on anything that I don't really have that much of an opinion or familiarity with. I've learned so much from working on It's Always Sunny over the years. Those guys bring a unique combination of playfulness and precision, and I think you have to have both of those things in everything you make. Fair enough, but again, those are professionals. You aren't dealing with that with Marvel, from what we've been hearing or what has been leaked over these past few months, and obviously what's been on the screen for the past few years. You still have to be a kid in a sandbox playing and inventing, but you have to be rigorous with what you're doing, and comedy is even more rigorous than anything else. Yeah, but you're making a fantastic okay. The precision of making something funny is often way harder than making something really complicated with special effects work. So playfulness and precision. The rule of improv now is such a good thing for a creative process. I like what you're bringing. Now let's do that again. Plus this. Yeah, exactly, because it worked so well with scripts such as Ghostbusters 2016. Oh no, but there was a lot of improv in the first Iron Man. And what we're dealing with the Fantastic Four, a beleaguered studio that is being micromanaged by every stuffed suit, is a lot different than somebody who was actually a whole cast of characters that had been Oscar nominees. And that's, I think, the essence of collaboration and how I think everything's good, whether it's a gigantic, awesome show like Monarch that's made across continents. The fuck is Monarch? Or whether it's something Patty's Pub made for 2 nickels with 4 or 5 people. The spirit infects, I think, or informs, I should say, everything that I do. Yeah, that's terrible insight. But again, it also shows that Disney doesn't take their hiring practices seriously. What has driven them into the ground? Inexperienced people behind the camera. The people that they put in front of the camera, they pay a lot of money for, and they're exceptionally good talents. Some very obvious exclusions, of course. It's just the inexperience, in the director's chair, in the writer's room. And what are we seeing right here? Somebody who worked on a cult classic sitcom being handed Marvel's first family. I don't want to let that go by. This is super important. This is what's going to be the make or break. This and the X-Men. And we already know what's basically going to be happening with the X-Men. It's going to become the X-People. And if you fuck that stuff up, you don't have any tricks left in the bag. And it really looks like they're laying the groundwork once again to just, simply lay an egg. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.